trading currency pairs is almost like trading synthetics for me. Stop Netflixing at night, get to bed earlier. Governments around the world can artificially manipulate supply and demand. Don't go straight to big money. Be prepared to lose a couple of $100 accounts. So they rush people through the education, they get them straight into a live account. How much do I need to deposit? Don't look for a mentor, look for a community.
Welcome back to another episode, guys. If you're a beginner at Forex trading, this episode is just for you. You can check out the questions in the description below. But before I get to the big questions, I have a quick question for you. A lot of people have been asking about the Forex Advanced course.
Well, it'll definitely be out by the time this podcast is out.
That's soon, guys. So check it out. If you're a Money Tribe member, you have free access. Is that right?
Yeah, so as a Money Tribe member, you get access to all of the content that we create. All our premium content is bundled into your subscription. So basically, one fee and you get all of our courses, past, current, and future.
You're the perfect person to ask this question because your day is normally 100% booked up. If you are a full-time employee, you've got a job, how do you have time to start trading?
Well, I think there's two key aspects to it. One is you've got to get the education, and then the second, which everybody's interested in, is when to trade. And obviously that's the question everybody's asking, but I think it's important to go a step back. You've got to do the education part. A lot of people will try and do it at the end of their day. So they'll go to work, and after that they'll put the kids to bed, and they'll have dinner, and then they'll try and get into it. And I would argue it's a very bad time to try and study. In fact, when I try and study anything, I never, ever do well at the end of the day because you're fatigued, you're tired, you're mentally drained, physically drained. So what I suggest to everybody is start waking up an hour or two earlier every day. Sit down, spend an hour educating yourself. If you can afford to crab an hour or 2 hours in, it's the best way to learn. And then obviously I would suggest when people do start trading, if they do work a full-time job, to sacrifice some of their personal time, wake up a little bit earlier and trade the Asian session. My personal favorite time to trade is 3 a.m. GMT plus 2, which is South African Standard Time, which is the Asian session, and I like to trade that through to about 7:30 in the morning. It's a great trading session. So for anybody who's working a job, stop Netflixing at night, get to bed earlier, and obviously just get up and trade the Asian session. I would argue that there's actually the best opportunity to trade. The most consistent opportunity to trade is in the Asian session in the morning.
What pair would I trade? Because there's so many options.
Well, I think probably the one that makes the most sense, and that's the reason why I trade it, is gold versus the US dollar. The thing is with currency pairs, they tend to move very differently to gold. They're not always attached directly to fundamentals. There are a lot of fundamental elements to currency pairs, but I find gold has the most fundamental pairs. So I find that gold and the US dollar is probably the easiest to learn because if you understand how interest rates affect gold, if you understand how the big macroeconomic factors that are always out in the news consistently every month, how those play into the gold price versus US dollar, it's the easiest pair to understand the movement. I do want to say this though, gold has a lot more volatility than other pairs. So the one thing I say to all new traders when they start trading gold is they need to scale down on their lot sizing, they need to reduce their risk, they need to go slow with it because gold can be very volatile and it can make big moves in the opposite directions. And so currency pairs, often you'll find a little bit more consistency in some of the currency pairs. You don't always have the big ranges of volatility, but the problem is there's a lot of unpredictability there as well because the fundamentals are out of whack. And so the way I like to explain this to people is very simple. If you understand that from a fundamental basis, when you look at any two pairs, it goes on basic economics. It's supply and demand. The problem with currency pairs is governments around the world can artificially manipulate supply and demand by printing more currency, by reducing currency on the market, by making currency more expensive with interest rates. There's a lot of things they can do to manipulate supply demand, and also because of that, there is a lot of sentiment that drives into those pairs. When I look at gold is based on fundamentals, and if you understand the supply demand economics, you can't really artificially increase the supply of gold. And so consequently, for me, gold is just a lot easier for people to learn. And that's where I would suggest that people start.
Okay, so it's a safe option, right?
Well, I don't want to say it's safe,
Okay.
because Forex is not safe.
No, I mean gold.
Gold is not safe.
Oh, okay.
If you're investing into gold and you're putting it in a bank vault, yeah, I mean that is safe.
Okay.
But the moment you're trading with leverage, that is not safe. It's completely different to investing in gold.
Okay.
And so the only reason why I prefer gold is because it's easier to understand its movements based on fundamentals. You know, I mean, trading currency pairs is almost like trading synthetics for me. The value is basically based on mostly sentiment. I like to go to gold because there's a lot of fundamental value to it. I can understand that if somebody drops a bomb on someone and there's bad stuff happening in the world, it's generally good for gold. And understand if the US dollar is weakening, it's generally good for gold, generally speaking. If there are big interest rate decisions, I understand how that's going to affect gold. If the interest rates go up or the interest rates go down. So it gives me a basic understanding, and that is something that most people can learn. And if you learn those rules, gold becomes a lot easier to trade than other things.
Okay, so now we know what to trade. What about what we need to trade in terms of software or hardware?
So, I mean, it really doesn't have to be that complicated. When I started trading, literally just MetaTrader. There's MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. MetaTrader 5 is basically the updated version. I use MetaTrader 5. I find it extremely easy to use. So you'll basically connect your broker account to MetaTrader 5. So what you do is you go open up a broker account. You then link that broker account to your MetaTrader account. MetaTrader is the software where you execute your trades. And then basically what you would do is you'd probably initially start out just doing your charting in MetaTrader on either the mobile application, or you do MetaTrader web. So you can access the exact same MetaTrader version on your phone in an app, or on your iPad in an app, or you can do the web version of it. Web version's not that great because it's a little bit laggy and it's not ideal, so the app is a little bit better. But as you get more into your trading and you start to do more in-depth analysis, the piece of software that I recommend everybody gets is TradingView. You can get TradingView for free. The problem with TradingView, the free version, is it's limited what you can do. The moment you want to start having a couple of more indicators, or you want to do a couple of more things in it, you're basically going to need to get the premium version of of TradingView. And I can tell you that those are actually the only two pieces of software I use. I use MetaTrader and TradingView, and I can tell you I personally could not trade without TradingView. TradingView is my go-to. I spend 90% of my time in TradingView, and I execute my trades in MetaTrader. I actually don't even look at the charts on MetaTrader unless I'm out and about and I pick up my phone and I just want to see what's going on with the charts. But even then, I've got TradingView installed on my phone, and I look at the mobile version of TradingView. So those are the only two pieces of software you really need.
Okay. I've invested, like many beginners, investing in education and a good Forex course.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the theory. I feel comfortable and confident. Can I go straight into live trading then?
I don't recommend it. So the thing is about understanding something. A lot of people think because they understand something from a theoretical point of view, that they understand it from a practical point of view.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people understand, the moment you go to trading, you're going to experience something wild, and that is emotions coming into the trade. So what I recommend people do is go open up a demo account with your broker. Almost every single broker will offer you a demo account. Don't go open a $1,000 or a $10,000 demo account or a $100,000. Open up a $100 demo account and trade that according to the rule sets that you've learned. In whatever course you've done, whichever community you're a part of, whatever their trading strategy is. Take that trading strategy and learn the discipline of executing that strategy accordingly. Because most of the time, people think that they're failing in trading because of bad strategy. Most of the time, people are failing because they don't have the discipline to execute that strategy. So what I recommend, once you've got through the educational content, whoever you've gone through the content with, and you understand it, then go to a demo account and practice it. And once you are consistently making profits on a very small demo account, and you're able to manage your risk, and you're able to get to a point where you're making more money than you're losing, so your equity is growing over time in that demo account. Once you take that demo account to $100, from 100 to 200 to 300, maybe at $300-400, once you've consistently done that, you go, okay, now it's time to open up a live account. When you open a live account, don't go straight to big money. Start with a $100 account.
And that was my next question. How much should we start with?
So so there's two ways to answer that question. A lot of people ask me if they're about to get into trading, how much should they start with? And my answer is nothing. Start with a demo account. Start with no money. Start by getting the education. Start by practicing on a demo account. It's kind of like getting a learner's license, right?
Yeah.
You get a learner's license. You've got to have a proper driver in the passenger seat with you, making sure that you don't bump into anything and have an accident, and you do the right things. When you open up a trading account, go to the demo accounts. It's like a learner's account. And once you are consistently producing returns, go to a very small amount on a real account. Because the one thing you need to understand, the moment you put real money on the table, it changes the emotional setup. It changes everything. You will execute your trades differently. You will see the trades differently. You'll be driven by different emotions. And emotions are the big thing that drive trades. So I always say demo, $100. And once you're consistently turning $100 into $200, $300, $400, once your equity curve is going up and you've grown your equity, then you start looking at putting more money into that account. Then you start looking to grow your base. But for most people starting out, when you do go to real money, I suggest nothing more than $100. Because here's the thing, you're going to blow an account. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen to you. You're going to be driven by the worst emotions you've ever experienced. And rather lose $100 than go and lose $1,000 or $10,000. Because what you need to understand, by the time you actually figure out trading, it could be a year, could be 2 years, could be 4 years. The average trader takes them 4 years to become consistently profitable. So if you go straight out the gates with all the capital you have, you're not going to have capital by the time you actually know how to trade. And so rather make small, consistent investments and lose a little bit of money in the beginning. If you blow a couple $100 accounts, it's not the end of the world. Having said that, if you take $100 in a lot of weaker currencies, for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. It's not small change. For a lot of people, $100 is real money.
Yeah.
And so that's why I suggest don't go bigger. And anything less would also be a mistake. Because here's the problem. If you go to like a $25 account or a $50 account, you're going to have to take ridiculous kinds of leverage to make anything worthwhile. And if you start making 50 cents a day or $1 a day on a $50 account, it's not going to mean anything to you. And then you are going to start taking bigger risks, and you're just going to keep blowing and keep blowing and keep blowing. So $100 feels real enough that it gives you the feedback, but also it's not going to break the bank. You're not going to lose the house over it. And just be prepared to lose a couple of $100 accounts. It's going to happen until you find your consistency.
So you said the average person takes 4 years to become profitable.
Yeah.
So that's basically the return on my investments. I'm studying the Forex course now, and only in 4 years' time, I would probably be profitable. That's a long time.
So I don't want to sound overly biased when I say this, but this is talking industry-wide.
Right.
Industry-wide, it takes the average trader 4 years to become profitable. Now, there are exceptions. There are people who become profitable very quickly. There are people who take even longer than that to become profitable. I know of traders who've traded for 7 years and haven't made profit. And in their 8th or 9th year, they suddenly start making money. So you have to tip your hat to those guys, because they've been willing to go the distance. They've stuck with it. And there's a lesson in that. If you stick with it long enough, you will figure it out. But here's what I will tell you. I think there is a problem in the industry. I think it is ridiculous that it's taking people that long to become profitable. And I think there's a number of reasons why there is a problem. I think, first of all, people are not always getting the best education. Secondly, when people do get the education, they're often too eager and often encouraged by the people that are teaching them to go and deposit money into a live account and to start trading, because often those mentors are being given brokerage commissions, so they want to get you to your first deposit as quickly as possible. So they rush people through the education, they get them straight into a live account. And so we've decided to do something very differently inside the Money Tribe. First of all, we tell everybody, before you start our Forex courses, go and do the 8 pillars of foundational wealth creation and figure yourself out, rather than trying to do trading and figure yourself out at the same time, which is a very big mistake, because that's why it takes people 4 years. It's not the trading that's a problem, it's the trader. People start to realize their mistake in year 3 and go, well, I was driven out of fear, I was driven out of greed, I had FOMO, I was revenge trading. And then only then are they figuring themselves out, and they realize it's not the trading that's a problem, it's themselves. So I say to people in the Money Tribe, start with the 8 pillars. The 8 pillars will teach you everything you need to know about yourself and money. It'll take you back to basics. It'll give you the foundation to build off of. And once you've done that, then go and do the Forex Basics course. Once you're finding consistency in demo trading with the Forex Basics course, then go and do the Forex Advanced course and start depositing real money. And that process might sound quite long, but we've got traders that are within 3 months finding profitability. I've got guys who've come into our community who have been trading for a good couple of years and they've been inconsistent. The moment they went back to basics, the moment they did the 8 pillars, did the Forex Basics, got into the demo trading competitions, which is another big part of how we incubating great traders. We are incubating traders by providing a space for them to properly learn. We're putting them under real pressure. We're trying to simulate as much of the pressures of trading real money without trading real money. Plus, we're putting up real prizes. There's a leaderboard which puts social pressure in. We're using that as a platform to incubate traders. And only once people are consistently profitable in those competitions do we then encourage them to go to the Forex Advanced course and then to actually deposit real money. And I think that's the difference. So my goal is to turn out profitable traders in a matter of months rather than 4 years, because I realize what the problem is in getting people profitable. The problem in getting people profitable is not teaching people how to read charts. It's not teaching people to understand all of the economics, because those things are fundamentally easy. Once you understand rule sets and you understand the basic parameters, it's pretty easy to understand how to trade. I can teach anybody to trade within 2-3 days, right? From nothing to being able to take their first trade. Within 2-3 days, people can trade. That's not where the issue lies with profitability. The issue with profitability lies in figuring yourself out as a trader. Why are you taking trades when you shouldn't be taking trades? Why are you trading ranges that you shouldn't be trading when a market is consolidating? Why are you trading against the trend of the market? What are the things that are driving you to make those decisions? And so that's what we're helping people figure out. And so my goal is to incubate traders in a matter of months into a point of being profitable. And I want to say this because I think it's something that is desperately missing in the industry. Every Forex guy will tell you, or mentor, or Forex course seller will tell you that everybody can trade Forex. I'm telling everyone categorically, trading is not for everyone. If 100 people walk in the room and take a course, you're going to find at least 50% of those are never going to make it in trading. Probably even higher. I mean, the failure rates in the industry is actually 90%. It's crazy how high the failure rate is. So what I'm saying to people is, before you go and jump in and throw your life savings in, first figure it out if you actually can make it as a trader, right? We don't just assume everybody can fly an airplane. You've got to go do an entrance exam. Then if you actually pass the entrance exam, you go and do the education. Once you've got the education, you've actually got to go and do some practical stuff and prove you can fly a plane before they give you a license. And then when you get the license, you've got to go apply for the job. It's a process. Nobody just wakes up and goes, I want to be a pilot. But people are doing this with Forex trading. They go, well, I want to be a Forex trader. They open up a brokerage account. They watch a couple of YouTube videos and they go straight into live trading and then wonder why there's a 90% failure rate. The problem isn't just the education. The problem isn't just the Forex guys promoting the lifestyle and the courses and all the rest of it. The problem is also the fact that people are too eager to jump in too quickly. This is like any vocation. You've got to spend time, get the education, practice, and only go live when you are ready. And so I think the reason why it takes people 4 years, this is my personal theory, is because nobody is actually narrowing the structure and saying, do this first, do that, and only when you've done those things, do this. Most people are going straight from opening a broker account to depositing money, and that's a mistake. You want to open up a brokerage account, open a demo account, get the education, practice, find consistency, figure out your emotions, figure out your triggers, and once you get a handle on that shit, if it takes you a year, so be it. When you make your first deposit, it's like flying a plane. You should know that you know how to fly the plane.
I think a lot of people watching this are in that position where they've just done a course,
Yep.
or they're looking for a course and they're assuming as soon as they're done, they're going to deposit money into an account and start trading. But obviously, like you said...
Well, I see it daily in my DMs. I mean, I've got people on Instagram and TikTok DMing me every day. Hello, brother, I want to get started. How much do I need to deposit?
It's just about get the money and let's see how I get paid.
But there's two problems with that, right?
Yeah.
So one is it's driven by the fact that people are greedy, people are desperate, they want returns now.
Yes.
They want a quick way to the next part of their life. They're in a place now, they see where they want to be, they want to have the nice house, the sports car, they want money in the bank account. So in their mind, they're going straight to the result. They in their mind, they've DM'd me and they want the results already. They're not DMing me to go, how can I learn to trade? How can I become an apprentice to this job? How can I become an apprentice to this career? Figure it out and then grow from there. People want to go straight from here to money. That's the first problem.
The easiest route.
The second problem is, and again, I don't want to slate anybody in the industry, but there is an industry-wide problem, and I talk about this a hell of a lot inside my community. Number one, the brokers are pushing for first deposit because the brokers know a couple of things. If they don't get your deposit, they don't make money, right? Number one. Number two, a lot of the brokers out there, when you lose money, you're losing money directly to them, especially if they be book brokers, right? Which I've spoken about extensively. People can go back in my content, even here on YouTube. I've spoken about A book versus B book brokers. So there is an incentive for brokers to push that deposit as quickly as possible. You also have to understand that the guys giving courses, the guys providing Forex indicators and bots and software and everything, they're usually earning referral commissions from the brokerages. So the quicker they encourage you to deposit, the quicker they make money. And so there's nobody in this industry other than me that I know of that's actually slowing their community down, slowing their members down and saying, hang on, get the education. Once you've got the education, do the apprenticeship. And once you've passed the apprenticeship phase, then you can actually start putting real money in. So, I mean, I literally in my DMs, when people send me messages and say to me, how much should I start with? How much money should I deposit? I actually have a canned response, which I send them. And that canned response is, please don't make the mistake that 90% of traders make, which is go straight to first deposit, be encouraged to make that deposit, because it is going to set you back years in your trading. And this is why it's taking people 4 years to learn to trade. My community is learning to trade a lot quicker because we're doing things differently.
So now you have one of the red flags you should look out for when you're looking for a mentor. Or
anyone is pushing you to deposit.
Yeah.
You've got to know what their incentive is, right? No one tells you to put deposit unless there's an incentive behind it.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, we earn IB fees, not a hell of a lot. I have a couple of brokers that I work with that I know and trust, that I've put deposits with. I've done withdrawals. I've got a relationship with them. And I do provide those links inside the Money Tribe app to my community. And I say to them, please, if you want to use a broker, these are the brokers that I use. Know that if you use my link, I'm going to get a little bit of commission out of it, but it's not my driving force. It's not my incentive.
But you are transparent about that. People are very aware of everything you just said.
And I say to people, please, if you feel free to use your own broker as well. What you'll find is a lot of the guys out there providing anything in the Forex industry, especially the guys providing things for free, you have to use their broker, right? So what is the incentive? The incentive is to get you to deposit as quickly as possible. So it's an industry-wide problem.
Forex changed my life. Give me 20 seconds and I'll show you how it can change yours too. If you want more freedom, more money, more control over your life, it's not just a dream. Forex is the most equal opportunity on the planet. Your age, gender, and color don't matter. If you know when and what to buy and sell, you will make money. All you need is a proven system with clear strategies, proper risk management, and discipline. At Money Tribe 21, We are incubating some of the world's greatest traders. We're a community, real everyday people who help each other level up through exclusive content, proven strategies, and support. If you want to make more money, reduce your losses, and have access to help on your trading journey, visit moneytribe21.com/Forex to access our exclusive and highly accurate daily market analysis. Money Tribe 21. Freedom, money, community. Get in on the action now.
And speaking about brokers, as a beginner, you have, well, everyone has to use a broker, right? So is there a suggested broker that you would say, use this broker if you're a beginner?
Look, I don't make broker recommendations. I only let people know what I use as myself.
Right.
And if you're inside the Money Tribe community, if you download the Money Tribe app, there is a link in there called resources. It links you to the software I use. It links you to the brokers I use. And if you click that link and use them, we will get a little bit of a referral out of it. But I don't push anybody to any of these. And I refuse to make recommendations, because here's what I will tell you about the Forex industry. A broker can be great today, and they can be pretty shit a year from now. All it takes is a change in business environments, a change of management, some issues in their liquidity, and suddenly that broker can go very bad very quickly. So that is also why I trade with multiple brokers. So my answer to anybody out there, if you're serious about trading, maybe look at joining the Money Tribe, get some education, see the brokers we use, go slow, don't rush into anything, and then sign up to the brokers that make sense to you. I mean, I've got like 4 or 5 different brokers I use, and some guys will swear by one broker and another guy will swear by another broker, because their interface and the way they do the withdrawals and deposits makes sense to them, because every broker is different. Me personally, I don't have a preference. I'm not necessarily looking for the cheapest broker. I'm not necessarily looking for anything other than consistency, reliability, and spreading risk.
If you had to sum up your best tips for the people watching now, what would they be?
So for an absolute beginner, I would say find yourself a course that makes sense to you. There's a lot of courses out there, and everybody's got a course, but find something that resonates with you and makes sense. So for example, I am one of those people who likes to really simplify things. For myself, people think I do this for everybody else. I do it for myself, because I understand, that the simpler a concept is, the easier it is to follow through on the discipline of that concept. I mean, I think it was Albert Einstein who said, the true genius is simplicity. So I try and take everything back to its most basic, simplest format. I've done that with business, I've done it in my personal life, I do it with trading, and I pass that on how I teach. Some guys might take my course, for example, and go, it's oversimplified. Especially guys who've been trading for a couple of years ago, there's no ways this guy can be profitable because his concepts are too simple. And I get it. Some people want the complicated shit. Some people are analytical, they want the complicated stuff. That's great. If you're one of those people, find that kind of course that's going to resonate with you. If you're the kind of person who's looking for simplicity, find something that's going to be simple and easy enough for you to understand. I can tell you that I took a couple of Udemy courses when I started out trying to figure out Forex in the beginning, and I fell asleep to every single one of them.
Lullabies.
It was a nightmare. So I think first of all, find something that resonates with you. Find something that keeps you engaged and interested. It doesn't necessarily have to be entertaining, but it needs to keep you engaged. You need to be able to look forward to coming back and sitting down and learning something new from it. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would say is, don't make the mistake that everybody else makes and go straight to trading live money. Be prepared to put in a good, hard couple of months learning the basic concepts and structure of the Forex markets and understanding the assets that you're going to trade. And then the other thing I would say, and this is probably my biggest tip of all, start reading and focusing on the thing that you're going to trade, right? So if you're trading gold US dollar, start reading news about gold US dollar. Start reading articles about it. Start being interested in the thing that you're trading. Because a lot of people just want to do technical trading and they don't understand that it's fundamentals and economics that moves the market. So if I'm given the choice of between reading something in, I don't know, the U magazine, or reading something in a magazine about economics around the assets I'm trading, I'm gonna read something about finance because it's gonna make me money, right? So input equals output. So change what you're reading, change what you're consuming. it could even be as simple as just watching things on YouTube. Don't necessarily watch trading stuff on YouTube. Watch stuff about the assets that you're trading.
Right.
And then I would say, don't make the mistake that everybody makes. Go straight to live trading. It's a big mistake. Don't deposit. Go slow down. And treat this like any change in career. If you were a doctor and you wanted to become a pilot, you'd have to go do the pilot's license. You'd have to go and actually do the work. People want to go from being the doctor to flying a plane. That's not how life works.
You actually got to budget and invest the time into the end results.
And that's what I would say. People say, how much should they invest? What you should invest in the beginning is time and a little bit of money into education. You don't have to spend a hell of a lot. I mean, this is the other thing. There are Forex courses out there. I mean, I'm horrified to see what guys are selling courses at. Some of the people are selling their courses for like 20 grand, 30 grand, 40 grand. I've seen Forex courses selling for $50,000, right? And I can tell you those courses are not as wonderful as the price point seems. And so my advice is find something that's reasonably priced, something that you can commit to for an extended period of time. And then the last tip I would give people, and I don't want this to sound like I'm promoting the money chart, but it is honestly my biggest tip. Don't look for a mentor. Look for a community, right?
Why?
Because what you will find when it is purely based around one person, one mentor, it's almost like a cult in a way. And ideas don't get challenged, and thoughts don't get challenged, and there isn't creative and collective input from many different people who are going through the same things as you. And maybe some people have figured out some of the stuff you're battling with and a couple of steps ahead of you. One of the things that having a community of traders around you, whether it is a community of intermediate traders, beginner traders, advanced traders, or everybody mixed into one, what you will find is you will find people having the same problem as you. And you will find people who've figured out a way out of that problem. And they can pass that knowledge on to you, and you can pass knowledge on to other people. And so I think a community is really important. Plus the other thing is, trading is a very solemn thing. It's something you do on your own, and it's lonely, and it can be something that literally detaches you from the world. And I think having a community brings you back to this place of going, well, okay, I'm not on my own. There's other people I can ask questions to. There's other people I can lean into for support. If I have a tax question, or I have a withdrawal question, or I have a broker question, or maybe I'm having an issue in the software, there's somebody you can go to. You cannot make it successfully as a trader, in my opinion, without a couple of good people around you. Whether it is a couple of close friends that you're trading with, whether it is a couple of business partners that you're trading with, or whether it's a community. And my preference is always going to be a community.
If you have a community, it almost validates the content, like
Yep.
the education. If you are scamming people, or if you're giving them bad advice, they're going to be losing money or not winning at trades, right?
Yep.
So the community is not going to be around anymore.
Well, it's a valid point. So a lot of people are riding my arse on social media and saying, we'd like to see more of your trades. We'd like to see you live trade, blah, 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 all the rest. And we've spoken about reasons why I can't currently do that. And I always say to people, the biggest validation of what I'm talking about and what I'm teaching is simply go and be part of the community.
For yourself.
For yourself, it's $49 a month. If you're not prepared to invest $49, if you convert that into South African rands, it's about 900 rand a month. If you can't afford to invest 900 rand in yourself for 1 month and check it out, you've got to ask yourself if trading is for you, right? There are people going out there and spending thousands on courses. It doesn't make sense. Go and spend 800-900 rand, $49, get into the community, and don't look at what Justin is doing. Look at what the community is doing. Look at what they are achieving. Because that is my benchmark of success. My trading, I already know I'm making money. If I'm looking at the money chart, the benchmark is not whether I'm making money. It's whether I'm helping other people make money.
Exactly.
And so what I find is that a lot of my community won't actually go onto social media and talk about the money that they're making, because for obvious reasons, same as me. They're very private about their information. It's personal. But if you go into the Money Tribe community, what you will find is there is a percentage of people, which is natural. There's a small percentage of people making very high returns. There's a whole group in the middle that are figuring out trading and starting to find their consistency, and there's a whole bunch of people at the bottom that are just not figuring it out, right? And that is to be expected. Nobody should expect to come into a course or into an educational platform and go straight to being the hero. And this goes into a couple of things. A couple of people will understand the concepts and they'll instantly get it, and they'll have more discipline to execute it. Some people are going to be a bit slower to learn, and they've got to figure it out, and they're going to be inconsistent, and it's going to take them more time to get there. And a whole bunch of people at the bottom haven't got the discipline, are trying to do stuff, but they're not understanding what they're doing. And so they've really got to sit down and figure that journey out. And what the great thing is being part of the community, if you're in that bottom sector here, you'd be inclined under anyone else to go, this guy's a scam, the stuff he's teaching me is bullshit. But then you've got to ask yourself, why is that percentage at the top doing so well? Why are there constantly people graduating to that upper level and consistently doing well, producing 60, 70% return a month?
Yes.
Why are there people here in the middle that are now consistently moving from making losses to moving to making 10, 12, 13% a month, and now starting to strive for that next level? Well, this is the way learning works, right? If you go into a classroom, not everyone's an A student, right? There's some F students and there's a whole bunch of students in the middle, and there's a couple of A students. It's the same in trading. And the great thing about being a part of a community like the Money Tribe is you get to look in and see, hey, actually there's a whole bunch of people like me that are not making it, so let's figure out what's going on here. Or hey, there's a whole bunch of people like me that are only making 10% per month. How do we get to that next level? These guys are A students that are now making 40, 50, 60% per month. So I always say to people, if you are really interested in trading, go and join a community, because you'll very quickly see whether people are making money or not. So I'll give you a great example of where this doesn't work. So people join a signal group on Telegram, and 99% of the time those signal groups have got closed comments. So these guys will sell you a membership to be part of that signal group. They send out the signals, right? But you cannot respond on those signals. You cannot say I lost money, you cannot say I won money, you cannot say anything.
You can't tell if they are actually working or not.
You cannot tell whether it's working or not. Right. If you come into our community, you can instantly see there are people that are making money, there are people on their way to making money, and there are a whole bunch of people trying to figure it out.
The proof is inside.
The proof is inside. And our demo trading comps, which we run every single month, is a great example of this. Because you just have to go to the leaderboards, and you can see exactly what trades people are taking. You can see exactly where they've made money. You can see exactly where they've lost money. And you can see who's been consistent in every competition and who hasn't been consistent. Who's able to follow rules and who isn't able to follow rules. And if you go to any of the guys at the top of that leaderboard, and we've had them at our live events, we've had them in person, if you go to them, ask them, how did you go from being unprofitable to being consistently profitable to the top of the leaderboard? They'll tell you it's one simple thing. We did the 8 pillars, we figured our shit out, and we leaned into the community and figured out our own problems by looking at everybody else's problems. Community is key. So for anybody who wants to really check out the Money Tribe, go and download the app, join the Money Tribe, give it a month or two, and figure it out for yourself.
Now, you were a beginner too, so what brought you to trading?
I mean, I've spoken about this previously. I did try trading some 25 years ago. I lost a lot of money. Yeah. And I just decided never to touch Forex again. I was like, this is a scam, not buying into it. And then obviously with me creating social media content, wanting to educate people about money, one of the things that I saw is a lot of this, like people pushing Forex robots, and that this was becoming a big thing. And I wanted to do a story and show people that I personally believe that Forex robots were a bunch of bullshit. And so I went and bought bots. I wanted to do a YouTube video, and I wanted to do a story on it. I wanted to push this content out to social media and give people an honest view, because nobody's really testing the Forex bots and showing the results publicly. It's only the Forex bot sellers who are showing the results. Nobody's actually publicly showing their results. So I thought, let me put 10 bots up against each other and let me show people. And so I was sitting there watching these trades happening, and I'll make this story very short because I've explained this in some of my other content which people can go back to. I was watching gold in the US dollar, and something clicked. Something made sense to me from a fundamental perspective. Nothing on the charts, nothing in terms of technical analysis, but fundamentally I was looking at what's happening in the world, and I anticipated what should happen in the pricing, and those things lined up. And so that is literally where my Forex journey started, was me actually trying to run bots and realizing that pricing basically happens and moves because real shit happens in the real world. Most traders come to trading looking at the charts, not understanding that it's real world shit.
It's linked to reality.
It's linked to reality.
Okay.
And so most people coming to trading are trying to live in this avatar world, this virtual reality in textbook phase, rather than focusing on what happens in the real world. So I want to say the second time I came into Forex, I came in totally ignoring the charts, totally ignoring technicals, and just focusing on price and fundamentals. And that has been probably the most unexpected thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Ever. If you asked me at the start of my Forex trading journey, a couple of months before that even, if you'd said to me, you're going to be a Forex trader, I would have laughed at you. If you said, and by the way, I'm actually not a Forex trader. I need to correct this. We use the word Forex very loosely because it's what people understand, and we say it specifically for the broader audience out there, but I'm actually a commodities trader. I focus more specifically on commodities than anything else. I will at very, very, very limited times, I will trade some crypto, I'll trade some currency pairs, very, very limited. I am first and foremost a commodities trader. And I think me coming to trading is a collection of a 25-year life journey, and I never anticipated this. I've never in my life been successful at something that I didn't anticipate I'd be successful at. Nobody is more surprised about me being successful in this industry than me.
You did a few Udemy courses, and then you were just acing it.
I'm very cautious when I make a statement or other people make a statement on my behalf, because it gives to the reasoning or the thinking that everybody might have this. I want to point something out. Whether I am going into camping or buying a new car or buying a new piece of property or, moving countries or whatever I'm planning on doing, I'm one of those obsessive people that I will consume information until I understand something. I will watch YouTube videos, I will take courses, I will read books, I will go and find the knowledge and the information. I will go to bookstores and I will scour every book on the bookshelf to find that thing that I need to learn. If it's social media, like when I started social media and putting out content, I had to figure it out. I went and got hold of Gary Vee's team. I got people who are very successful out there in social media, and I sponged knowledge off them. And I always say this to people about my personality, which I think will make sense why trading came so quickly to me. When I find an interest in a subject, I'm like a sponge. If there is a room full of people who know something more about a subject than me, I'm the quietest person in the room. I observe, I listen, I absorb. I take everything in. I have questions, I get answers to those questions. I have to figure it out. That's what trading was like for me. The moment I saw there is something, the moment I had that, I call it the sniff of an oil rag. The moment I had that sniff of the oil rag, my brain just did this. It just did the switch, and I had to figure it out. It's an obsession. Like I could not sleep until I figured it out. Now that I figured it out, and by the way, I want to say I don't think you ever have it totally figured out. Your journey will continue to evolve. A trader who's trading in 10 years' time is very different from a trader who's been trading for 2 years. Your trading journey will evolve as your life evolves, right? There's different seasons, different things happening. And so I don't think you'll ever know everything, but I've definitely figured it out. But if you look at people go to a condensed period of time that I figured it out in, but you will know how much time I invested into that. There were 20 hours a day where I couldn't stop reading. And my brain is like that. I cannot go to sleep until I figure something out.
What was your biggest beginner mistake?
I think there were a couple of mistakes. I think it's very hard to point to the biggest mistake because I made I want to say a comedy of errors. I could go to the fact that when I started trading, look, my inclination was to go straight to demo because I didn't want to risk real money. And I think that was a good thing. The bad thing is I went to a very big demo account. I started like I can't remember. I think it was a $10,000 demo account. Big mistake, right? Created a false sense of reality. That was the first mistake. The second mistake, and I mean, I can point to all these little things. Like initially, when I started trading, I wasn't trading with stop loss and all of those things. But those are not the big mistakes. Those are mistakes. But the big mistakes for me was I started on too big a demo account. I did have the foresight to do it a couple of times before I put real money in. But probably my bigger mistake out of all of those, the moment I deposited a decent amount of money. I think my first deposit was $5,000. It was way too much. If I could go back and restart that part of the journey, I would have started on $100, and I would have taken a little bit more time to figure things out. Would that have maybe changed the trajectory of my personal journey? Perhaps. Maybe it would have slowed me down. So I can't say whether it's completely a good thing or a bad thing, because there's nothing like losing money to motivate me. I can't handle losing money. The other thing I want to say is one of my mistakes that I found early on is I listened to too many pieces of information that were conflicting. So you see something on YouTube, a strategy. You see something here that you read in a book, a strategy. You see something here that you hear there on maybe a podcast. And while I was listening to all of this, I realized that I needed to eliminate noise. I needed to go back to what made me successful the moment I started taking those initial trades. And those initial trades, the success was I didn't complicate shit. And I would say if I have to choose a single biggest mistake, it's that at some part in my trading, in the early stage, I overcomplicated things a little bit too much. I was taking too many parts and putting it together. And it's only when I went back to very basic trading, support and resistance, understanding daily highs and daily lows, trading off market structure. When I went back to those things combined with the real world fundamental elements that I look at every day, it's only then that I found consistency every single day. And if I could go back and fix one thing in my journey, it would be not to put too many moving parts together. I mean, I fundamentally now trade the same 3 strategies I figured out almost in my first month of trading. I perfected them a little bit more, but it's still the same 3 fundamental strategies. And I would encourage anybody out there not to consume too many sources of information from too many people. If you choose somebody to listen to that person, figure out if their strategy works, figure out if other people are successful with that strategy, and then learn the discipline of doing that strategy. Unless you are one of those people who can figure shit out for yourself, then go figure it out for yourself. I was one of those people.
Thanks guys for joining us. If you found this content valuable, don't forget to drop a comment. And if you want to see more, you have to hit the subscribe button finally.
What is that? A lunchbox. Hopefully by episode 20, we'll both be very skinny.
I know birds that eat more than I do. I mean, look at us, we're eating nuts right now.
I'm not. I eat steak. A lot of it.